Thank you for joining us today, and we have a very special feature. My name is Nuki Clark, and I'm going to be co-hosting with Toni Jacob, who is an entrepreneur in the Ottawa, Ontario region. The show we have is called Startup Tips for Businesses with Toni Jacob. So without further ado, please welcome Toni Jacob to the show. How are you doing today, Toni?
I'm doing good, Nikki. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. You've got some really great services, and I have some of the products that you market, clothing and beautiful jewelry. But all of this doesn't just come just overnight. It takes time to develop. And so let's find out from you, what does it take to start up a business?
Well, I would say, of course, the dream would be the first thing, and also support from family and friends, and determination. I think those combination, you could pretty much do any kind of business that you put your heart to. It's not something that it comes easy, but if you have the will, you have the dream, you have the determination and the support, anybody, you could do anything.
Okay, excellent. And what was your story as an entrepreneur?
My story came with a little bit of a pain and, joy in the end, because I had just gone through a difficult time with a divorce, losing everything, and then having to start over. But I always had that dream and the determination, knowing that I wanted to have a business, and just praying to God and asking Him to show me a way and how this could be done, even without having money and having to move back home with my family. He opened up that door, and I was able to fulfill that dream and still have my business after 9 years.
Right. And that takes a lot of discipline and perseverance, because there's a lot of highs and lows in a business. So what are the tips in what you could say as longevity in business? How are you able to stay in business for more than 9 years?
Well, one, of course, a lot of prayer, a lot of support, and just staying up with the trend, making sure you're taking and really observing what is happening with the fashion industry, making sure that, you are catering to the people who and where your business are. So if you're if you're in a mall, of course you want to stay up with the trend, but you got to stay up with who's in that area. So the area that my business is, it's multicultural. So I want to make sure that staying up with the trend, I'm still also catering to the people and not being overpriced. And I think that's why my business has still succeed, is because I'm not overpriced. I'm making sure that I'm catering to the people who's in the area. The stuff that I do sell in my store, it's for all types. I have, accessories. I have dashikis. I have, handbags. I have many different types of products that, could anyone walk in could purchase, whether they were Black, Chinese, white, you name it. I cater to everybody.
Okay, excellent. So, we've heard that the minimum wage is raising to $15 an hour, which is amazing. So how do you think it's going to affect small business?
Well, because small business, of course, they thrive on as much as they can within who they're selling to. But, of course, raising it to $15, I think it's a great thing because, of course, a lot of people are out there, they're trying to make ends meet. Raising the minimum wage to $15, it's great. However, for small business, I don't think it's going to be – I think it's going to hurt us a little bit because me as trying to maybe do another business, now I'm going to have to pay somebody $15. And if your small business is not doing that well, it's going to hurt because you have to pay those wages, which is much higher. And then, of course, you have all the other utilities, the rent. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. So for me, in my small business, what I'm going to probably have to do is maybe spend a little bit more time in the business and maybe get a part-time person. I would love if I would, I'm a small business. My store is not that big. I would love to be able to have somebody in there full-time, but at $15 an hour, it's going to cut into all the other responsibilities that I need to do. So it's going to be tough, but you know what? God's going to see me through. He's seen me through for 9 years. This is just another hurdle that, I'm going to have to get over along with all the other small business.
Sure, absolutely. And what would you advise someone now who's thinking about becoming an entrepreneur? And they're sitting on the fence, they're just not sure about taking that leap of faith. What would you tell them right now?
I would say, take that leap. Don't be afraid. When I took that leap, I jumped. I had a plan. It wasn't on paper. So I would suggest, whatever plan that you have, whatever business that you are looking into getting into, just jot it down on paper. Make a business plan. Sometimes the business plan is not always, everybody's always, you have to have a business plan, you have to have this, you have to have that. But with me, when I jumped into this, I didn't have it all planned out. I just, as things came, I went with it. I went with the flow. I went with the trend. So for anybody who's wanting to get into a business and they have a dream, I would say, go for it, because you never know when that opportunity will come around again. So whether you have a lot of money, whether you can get a huge loan, a business loan, start small. You could start that business from home and work from there till you get into a storefront, whatever business it is. You can get your clients, you can post on Facebook, you can word of mouth, you can advertise, making flyers, advertise whatever business that you have. You can start small before you get into the storefront, which is going to cost you a little bit more. But whatever dream you have, I think it's important that, we do all that we can and do it to the best of our ability.
Okay. Excellent. Great advice. And how can people reach you, Toni?
They can reach me. I'm in the Ottawa area. My number is 613-709-0698. They can follow me, too. I'm on Facebook for Tonis Fashion, and that's TONI''S Fashion. And I'm in the Ottawa area on 1020 Sullivan Boulevard, Unit 2A, Ottawa, Ontario.
Fantastic. All right. Thank you so much, Toni, for your pearls of wisdom. We look forward to hearing from you again. You've been listening to Startup Tips for Business with Toni Jacob. She's out of the Ottawa, Ontario location, and she mentioned her information on how to reach out to her. So we're going to be providing some great, helpful, and effective strategies to help build up your small business. So thanks very much, Toni, and we'll catch you next time. Thanks for tuning in.
Thank you, Nikki. I appreciate it. Bye.
Bye-bye now.